Hello and welcome to another SANS live stream broadcast. I'm your host for today, Stephen A. Hart. I'm the Director of New Media Content here at the SANS Institute, and I'm broadcasting to you today from a still very warm Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining today's broadcast where we are celebrating Cybersecurity Awareness Month and introducing our Secure the Family campaign. It's my pleasure to welcome our guest for today, Heather Mahalik. Heather, hello and welcome. Let's try this again.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So wanted to, before we get going, let's have you maybe tell our community a little bit more about you.
All right. So I have been doing information security, digital forensics for just about 20 years. And there's still a lot to learn. That's something that a lot of people hear the amount of experience I have, but you're always learning. Where I'm really learning now is handling things from the perspective of my father, and I have 2 children. So learning constantly, reaching beyond what I'm comfortable with and for them. I am the SANS DFIR curriculum lead, and I am the senior director of digital intelligence at Cellebrite. So I have a day job. I have my SANS job. I'm an instructor and author. So lots of hats that I wear, but it's great. It's important. And I love what I do with the community.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about the Secure the Family campaign.
So this was actually an interesting opportunity that came my way. And at first, I wasn't sure what this actually means, like securing your family. I have little kids. My kids are 4 and 8. And do they have technology? Yes. And the more I got into this campaign, the more I realized it's not just children. It's also my friends with their teenagers. It's friends who live with others that just aren't as securely aware or even how to lock their laptops, like backups, Wi-Fi, sharing things with everyone. So I think all of us, regardless of your current situation, who you reside with, all of us have a family member, a friend, a child, a significant other who needs to be more aware when it comes to security and how much we rely upon it for our livelihood. What happens if your information falls into the wrong hands? So that's really where this opportunity, I was like, yeah, this seems really interesting to me because it's important to everyone.
Yeah. I'm sure you get asked all the time about how to secure devices, but what's the one question that you get asked the most about keeping our devices secure?
Oh my gosh. There's actually 2. One, what happens if someone hacks in and steals data? That is a big one that all my neighbors, everyone I know, they're like, what happens if someone hacks me and steals my data? And then you also wonder what data? What does that mean to you? And for most, it's their pictures or their financial information. So I feel like a lot of the males in my neighborhood care about their bank accounts. And what if someone gets into my bank account? And all the women I know care about their photos. So it's interesting for me, my photos, I would be devastated if I lost my information. But when people say hack, I think they also mean lose. Like what happens if all their data goes away? And that's something that I am always asked where it's too late. And people are like, hey, my iPhone fell into the ocean. Or heaven forbid, I hear this a lot, but I have a significant other who was in a crash or a plane crash. There are so many private pilots that their families reach out after the fact saying, how can I get their information? And that's where you have to be aware on backups. Because once the data is gone, sometimes it's too late. You get one chance and you have to do it proactively.
Right. Besides the obvious reasons for, maybe protecting our family, why is this campaign so very important to you?
Protecting our digital fingerprints. I don't care age. If you look from my daughter, Natalie, all the way through my father, who is, geez, why can I not think 72 almost? He'll be 72 this month. Protecting your information and everything that we rely upon is so important. Our digital fingerprint is probably the biggest footprint we are leaving out there right now. If you think about it, we do everything electronically. We have phones, we have computers. If you look behind me, I have all these test devices. Protecting that fingerprint, what it looks like, and then think about your teenagers if you have them, or your friends with teenagers. They're going to go off and get jobs eventually? What are they putting out there in the world that can then haunt them or help them? So you really get one chance at your digital persona. And I think that is so important, just to be aware on everything from cyberbullying to applying for a job and what you look like out there, because there are two different faces, but everyone can hide behind digital. So you just have to be aware how to protect, trust, because we need it, and then be proactive.
Yeah. So I'm sure some people listening to this, right, are going to be non-technical people. What are you hoping that they can walk away with? They're like, Heather, I'm not real techie. You know, what should they learn from this?
This was all written for quick little snippets for you to listen. And I hope that the snippets kind of draw you in on key points. Like, so you remember them almost in your mind when you get a new device and you're like, okay, here's my Android. Here's my new iPhone. I have to log in again. I forget all the things. How do you do it? So I'm hoping that my voice gets stuck in your head and you're like, okay, Heather said I could do these simple steps, but no one remembers a voice. So we also have tip sheets that we're providing to you saying, okay, if you want to secure an iOS device, these are the simple steps to take. If you get a new Wi-Fi plan, let's say you move from maybe Verizon to some other kind of service plan. How are you going to set it up? What should you do while that network service provider is still in your home? How can you actually ask them to help you to change your password so it's not just admin and password? You want to have things that are more secure, and it's okay to ask questions. That is what you should be doing. But I hope that these tip sheets take the questions out of it and make you realize that you don't have to be a tech wizard to be secure. You just have to follow simple instructions.
That's great. How can everyone watching learn more about the Secure the Family campaign and get involved?
So you can go out to the SANS website, and it's shown right here on the screen, the Secure the Family. It's on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, it's everywhere. But there are videos, and then there are tip sheets that go with each video. Something else I recommend, and it's free, it's called the Ouch newsletter. And Lance Spitzner and his team put this out, and it's fantastic. I've been a guest editor for it several times, but it's things that you need to know. Like if you're leaving a workplace and you want to clean up your work computer before you turn it in, what are things you can do to make sure that your personal information is removed from that computer? What happens if you want to get the new iPhone 13 and turn in your old one? What are some tips that you could do to ensure you're not releasing your personal information back into the world before you sell your phone or trade your phone? So there's perspectives all over the place. Securing your Chromebooks. Think about kids learning virtually now. That's a big thing. Right now, I'm very grateful that my son is back in school, so it's not as virtual, but the Chromebooks, the iPads, all of these devices that they're given for school, don't assume that the school secures them. Use these cheat sheets, use the Ouch newsletter, watch the videos. SANS has a lot of free resources to educate you. And honestly, if anything that you read piques your interest, go out to the website, and then you can get, like for DFIR specifically, what I do, you can watch 1 hour glimpses of each course. So as you talk to your children even about this, or your loved ones, and you say, hey, here are things to do to secure your device, let them educate themselves, push these videos their way, share them, because technology, I know, scares a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be scary.
Yeah, I'm trying to share out. So everyone listening, make sure that you are going to the landing page for Secure the Family. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we drop that link out here once again for everyone. Heather, anything else that you wanted to add before we wrapped up? I know we didn't intend for this to be a really long stream. I don't know if any of the comments caught your attention.
I just hope that everyone listens. Don't be afraid to ask a question, because you get one chance often with your own personal information and securing things. And what's sad is when it's too late and someone's already in on your systems or hacked into your family or sent your child a message. So be as proactive as possible, and always, always, always ask questions.
Yeah, so everyone hop on out to sans.org/MLP/Secure the Family. It's shown here on the screen. Heather, thank you so very much for joining us today. That's all the time we have. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to well, definitely jump on that page and reach out to us via social. We are on all the social channels on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And this video, if you happen to just be jumping in now, it will archive where you're watching. So you can go back and watch it once again. Heather, thank you so much once again.
Thank you for having me.
All right.